Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to News 5 Now. Let's get right to your headlines on this Tuesday afternoon. We have several big runoff elections coming up a week from today. We'll have a preview. Plus, people in one Gulf Coast city are going to be paying more for water. We'll tell you whose bill is going up. And a film legend has died. Those stories and more coming up right now on News 5 Now.
Brought to you by Green & Phillips Injury Lawyers. Covering news from your neighborhood and around the world. News 5 Now starts right now.
Everybody, welcome to News 5 Now. I'm Devin Walsh. So glad to be with you. Just wrapped up our noon show on WKRG. It's a big week as we are leading up to the runoff elections in several local cities. I'm going to be previewing those. Weather-wise, we are looking good out there. You might be wanting some rain, but I don't think we're going to get any. We're borderline on a drought situation. Maybe a little rain towards the end of the week, but not much hope of that. Temperatures are going to be in the 90s, so the heat is on. Even though fall officially begins next week, it sure as heck doesn't feel like it, does it? But we're used to that. We live here on the Gulf Coast. We know what to expect. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get to our big stories at this hour. Redford remembered. Hollywood is mourning the loss of a film and television legend. I was so sad to hear about this. Academy Award-winning actor and director Robert Redford has died at the age of 89. Redford reportedly died early this morning at his home in Utah. He starred in films such as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Natural, and The Old Man and the Gun. Redford won an Oscar for Best Director for Ordinary People. He is also the founder of the Sundance Institute, a company that pushes for the advancement of independent films. Number 4, if you live in Saraland, your water bill is going up. The Saraland Water and Sewer Board has approved an increase for residents. The city projects a 2.5% increase on water and 5% increase on your sewer bill. They say it's going to ensure investment in safe, reliable services. This comes after the city has seen brown water in residents' homes and at the new sports complex. The city says the rate hike will take effect October 1st. Number 3, Pritchard City leaders are hoping to avoid another round of election night issues. Back in August, several voting machines jammed, and poll workers had trouble fixing them, leading to delays in results. The city is holding additional training this week for poll workers to help minimize disruptions next week. Remember, Tuesday is the day of the runoff elections for the Gulf Coast. And let's talk about some of those runoff elections that are coming up, starting with number 1, Mobile. Former District Court Judge Spiro Chirigatis and State Representative Barbara Drummond are in a mayoral runoff there. Taking a look at Pritchard, residents had to decide between businesswoman Carletta Davis and incumbent Mayor Jimmy Gardner. In Chickasaw, Tyran Colvin and Bill Vallon are the last 2 candidates standing. Mayoral runoffs are also taking place in Robertsdale, Jackson, and Flomaton. And nearly a dozen city council seats across our viewing area will also be decided. You can follow our election coverage on Tuesday night on WKRG.com, WKRG, and the WKRG Plus app. And number 1, a fight over Mobile's water supply, recreational access, and who controls Big Creek Lake has been going on for most of the year. Now, some on the city council might consider annexing this area into Mobile. Right now, Big Creek Lake is in an unincorporated part of Mobile County, and the land surrounding the reservoir is owned by the Mobile Area Water and Sewer System. At a recent city council meeting, City Council member Joel Dave suggested only the city can truly clean up the lake property, but William Carroll suggested the annex all the way out and to take the lake. A vocal group organized under the banner Take Back Big Creek Lake has worked for much of the year to bring back recreational access to the lake and publicly defied orders to stay out. Moz closed the lake to recreation at the beginning of the year, saying they were trying to prevent invasive species from damaging the water supply. And that is a look at our big stories at this hour. Okay, now it is time for us to ask you our question of the day and read some of your answers. And we have a really serious question today. Let me start with the question right here. Should people expressing support for assassinations on social media be fired? Should people expressing support for assassinations on social media be fired? We have reported that so many people have been fired after the assassination of Charlie Kirk for expressing their opinions. And so we're asking you if workers should be fired. Maria says if the employer feels they do not represent the morals of the employer, then yes. Sunday says most companies have a clause in their handbook that says if you bring unwanted attention or bad press, you can be fired. Even McDonald's has a social media and personal code of conduct clause in their new hire paperwork, Ashley says. Leanne says yes, they're free to say what they want, but they also need to accept the consequences of what they speak. Yes, educators and healthcare workers especially. There was always freedom of speech, never freedom from consequence. So if you want to read the rest of those comments, we're going to leave them up for a little bit longer here on WKRG. But our poll of the day kind of relates to the question of the day. Let me pull that up for you. President Donald Trump wants the death penalty for Charlie Kirk's killer. Do you have thoughts on that? Do you agree? Yes, he should be put to death. Do you disagree? Or do you have no opinion? Let us know what you think. What should happen to the accused gunman? Do you agree, disagree, or do you have no opinion about whether or not he should be put to death? We want to hear your opinion on that. And so if you do have some strong feelings and you want to participate, you can do that until 5:30 tonight on WKRG or WKRG's Facebook page. Our next edition of News 5 Now airs at 5:30, and that's when we will be letting you know the results of our poll and reading more comments from our question of the day. Quick little thing to mention to you, if you have an iPhone and you haven't updated to iOS 26, that just came out yesterday. We had an app developer and a software engineer on our show this morning, and we talked about the changes to the iOS. So I upgraded to it, Caroline upgraded, and it definitely looks different. It's cool. It has this feature called liquid glass, and so when you push the buttons it kind of reverberates like a raindrop, and a lot of the buttons are clear so you can still see your background, and it's pretty interesting. There's some ability now to create your own emoji. I think it's called a Genmoji, and so you can create your own emoji, which is pretty neat. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm definitely going to. And it works, there's more AI features involved with it. I'm trying to think of what else he said, but the major thing is just the way it looks. And some of the buttons are in different places. I'm trying to kind of figure out the way things were, but you're going to be prompted to upgrade to iOS 26. And I'd say it is probably the most drastic upgrade as far as upgrades go, because sometimes I go, oh no, I don't want to upgrade. I like it the way it is. But this one is going to take you a minute to get ready to use, but it is pretty cool looking. So check it out, iOS 26 on your iPhone, if you have an iPhone. And actually, somebody was telling me that some of the features, especially the way the text messages actually look similar to a Samsung. And Samsung does a lot of things right. I've always thought the cameras on the Samsung were really, really clear.